The Kaprosuchus is one of the coolest reptiles to ever live. A massive semi-aquatic croc that could sprint like a tapir, catch prey on land and water, and go fight mano a mano with some of the scariest dinos of its time. It was the nightmare fuel of Africa's ponds in the Upper Cretaceous. But amazingly, all we know about this beast, we know from just the head, and its biology is a puzzle we've been putting together for decades. This is the Kaprosuchus. Hi, I'm Danielle Dufault, and you're watching Paleologic. The Kaprosuchus, whose name means boar crocodile, is a fascinating mystery in paleontology. All we've ever found is one skull, but the clues within it and the broader ecosystem where it lived paint a picture of a fearsome predator who lived to kill. The Kaprosuchus lived in the swamps of Africa about 100 million years ago. This was one of the most dangerous places to live of all time. Its neighbors were a whole host of strange crocodilians, giant fish, the Carcharodontosaurus, a 12-meter-long theropod, Egyptosaurus, a towering titanosaur that could crush all in its path, and Spinosaurus, one of the most charismatic predators to ever live, and a dinosaur that combined the most lethal aspects of theropod dinos and crocodiles. Okay, so how do we know what it looked like based on just a loose head? Let's start with the obvious. The skull is about 60 centimeters long, which, depending on how you extrapolate the info, suggests that it could have been up to 6 meters long. Although based on other similar crocs of the time, it was probably closer to 3 meters long. The teeth were gigantic and stuck out menacingly, like those of a boar. That similarity to Pumbaa and other pigs gave it its name. Yeah, you can kinda see it. But saber-tooth croc would have been a much cooler name. But then there were the more subtle hints that this was a bad croc. The eyes are more forward-facing than those of living crocodilians. This gave them overlap in vision, which in turn gave them depth perception. So their eye positioning was more similar to, say, a wolf than it was to alligators. Their teeth were long and sharp-edged, rather than conical like most aquatic crocodiles. The long, upwards-facing nostrils and the keratinous sheet on the snout were likely protection from high-speed impacts with potential prey. So this wasn't an animal that did much waiting. When it was hungry, it went on the prowl. These features in a vacuum suggested that this was a terrestrial hunter, but studies on its closest known relative, the Mahajangasuchus, show that it was likely semi-aquatic, which is hinted at by its high-mounted eyes. It might have spent most of its time in the water, but could chase prey on land when necessary. It's a bit of a bummer because in our mind, they went from looking like this to closer to this. But hey, science is about getting even closer to the truth, not to pick whatever looks cooler and stick with it. Still, a torpedo saber-tooth croc is pretty awesome. It's not like we're saying it was some sort of rat croc or anything. Oh, right. Rat crocs were also in that part of the world in that period of time, and they were awesome. It's hard for us to picture, but crocodilomorphs occupied much more diverse niches back then than they do now, and had more varied diets and body plans than the slow aquatic giants we have today. Their name, Araripesuchus rattoides, comes from their long buck teeth in their lower jaw. This type of teeth, along with their unusual tooth wear, the lack of canine-like teeth, and the serrated edges, are strong indications that it might have been an obligate herbivore. Imagine a vegetarian croc. The teeth were probably used to dig for food, much like a boar uses its teeth. Hey, wait a second. We have no direct evidence, but it's possible that Kaprosuchus could have used its long teeth to dig out prey out of riverbanks. A big pad of keratin on its snout would have been handy for rooting around for snacks. Hopefully one day we'll get to know more about the eating habits of all these weird crocs. Red crocs were about 1 meter long, so if anything, they were more like capybara crocs. Their legs were directly below their body, like a dog or a rodent. And that, combined with their relatively small size, gave them the ability to run much like the mammals of today. Also like dogs, they probably had the ability to stand up on their hind legs for short periods of time. There have been some misunderstandings regarding this, with some media calling them bipedal. But as far as we know, they spent most of their time on four legs and would only stand up for the same reasons a dog does. But maybe there was a bipedal croc. Some croc cousins, called crocodilomorphs, had several species of scary bipeds in the Triassic, who jogged the Earth 100 million years before rat crocs could gnaw it. But more recent Cretaceous tracks of these mysterious crocodilomorphs have been found in places as remote as New England and South Korea. Judging by their steps, the South Korean species had legs about as long as mine, but with their tail and long snout, they were probably about 3 meters long. Since we only know that species from their tracks, we call them an ichnospecies. And these particular bipedal croc prints are generally known as Batrachopus. It might just be a matter of time until we find a Cretaceous croc that could walk the dinosaur. Which leaves us with the last question. Who would win in a fight? Croc-looking dino or dino-looking croc? Let me know in the comments what you think. The croc world is amazing and richer than we ever thought. Almost every year, there's new discoveries of amazing species that upend our ideas of what it means to be a croc. We didn't even get to talk about the armadillo croc, the duck croc, or Prehistoric, a croc-like creature with the head of a T-Rex. But we'll talk more about them next time. So what should we talk about next? Please let me know in the comments and don't forget to subscribe for new episodes every week. See you in a while, Crocodile. Hey everyone, we have exciting news! We're thrilled to announce the release of Animalogic's very first book, Strange Creatures. This book dives into the most incredible animals we've ever featured on the show, with each chapter packed with my illustrations and stunning full-color images. It's a fun and engaging way to learn about the animal kingdom, and a perfect tool to spark kids' interest in science. Each chapter breaks down an animal's biology, behavior, and all the coolest facts you need to know about these fascinating creatures. Animalogic's Strange Creatures is a must-have addition to your own library, or the perfect gift for an animal lover this upcoming holiday season. Click the link in the description to check it out, and if you can, pre-order a copy. Pre-ordering would help us get an extra bump in the Amazon algorithm, and that would mean the world to us, so thank you so much.